Hi guys.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Oh my gosh, I'm so tired.
Good morning. Wow.
So we're
tired.
At the end of our last full day in Japan. Earlier than Katrina.
We didn't realize that until like an hour ago.
Yeah. So it turns out I need to get some packing done and hopefully get a few hours of sleep. But as long as I get 4 hours of sleep, I will be hitting my average for the past 2 weeks. Because I found out today, I did some math today and realized that I'm averaging 4 hours of sleep a night.
It's been rough.
But so much fun.
So much fun.
Yes. So anyway, we're going to go.
And maybe people can hear us, maybe they can't.
Exactly.
Oh, it looks like we're back.
Are we back?
And now we're back.
And now we're back.
And maybe you heard all of that, maybe you didn't.
Who knows?
We don't.
Who knows? Technical difficulties.
Not sure what's up with the internet in this apartment. Especially because we just carry our own internet.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go. I don't know.
So, we start with highlights. Go through what we, like, the main things that we did in our day.
These
so
are the
that if you want
highlights.
a short amount of what we did today,
You're
you
already
just
out of
watch
luck.
the first few minutes. Yeah, exactly. Tonight's not working. We're tired, guys.
Okay. Highlights. This morning for breakfast, we had a meal item that was highly anticipated. I don't remember if I've talked about them before or not, but on Instagram I found these like really giant pancakes. They're like these big fluffy pancakes, and turns out they're all over Japan. But we found a location that we wanted to try, and we were actually able to make a reservation on their website. I had to translate every page.
It was not easy.
I had to translate every page. I had to use Google to translate every page to set up an account to make a reservation. But these, we probably did talk about pancakes because we had the failed attempt for pancakes one morning.
Yes.
And
these,
yes,
yeah.
I think so.
So you have to be a loyal follower to remember that.
Lines for these pancakes are crazy, like so many lines here.
Yeah.
And we did not want to have to wait in that, and we didn't. We walked in, said we had a reservation, showed them the reservation, and got seated right away. And
got seated 10 minutes early.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we wanted to be there early because they were like, if you're 5 minutes late, you lose your reservation time.
Yeah, and also we had lots of stuff to do today.
Yes.
Which is our next highlight. Today was our last day in Japan, Errands Day.
Yeah.
So whether it was going back to places that we had seen, souvenirs we wanted to pick up, or I guess eating in some last places that we enjoyed before and hitting them again.
Yeah.
Today was the day to go around and hit as many of the things as we can. So before we went to bed last night, like full on, like Katrina pulls out like a little notebook and we write down everything we want to do and figure out the schedule and the train, the path that we want to take around the city.
Like what travel time we needed from place to place, and then like goals of how long we could spend in each neighborhood. Because we had things, we were kind of like sandwiched by things that had very set times. So we had our breakfast and then our final highlight. Yeah? Final highlight?
Sure.
Who knows?
We went to another museum today. Not as cool as yesterday's museum because nothing as.
Ooh, sorry. Some of you might be upset that we've said that, but
yeah. Anyway, this was the Ghibli Museum. Is the name of it? The Ghibli Museum.
Yes.
For Studio Ghibli, famously run by Miyazaki, responsible for films like Kiki's Delivery Service and My Neighbor Totoro.
Mm-hmm. Spirited Away.
And Spirited Away, yes.
And more.
And many more. So we went out to that and spent some time there and saw some stuff, and I think that's the highlight is that we went.
Yes, we can talk more about it
in the full version.
So are those our highlights?
Yeah.
I think those are the highlights. So if you are a highlights watcher, you can sign off, and this will be the end of our highlights for Japan. Thanks so much for watching, and if you want to hear the rest of the details about our day and see if we can make it through the video, keep on watching. So let's see.
For those of you who missed the beginning of the video, we are exhausted.
We also usually are working off of notes.
Yep.
And we have no notes
today. There are no notes.
Okay.
Because tired.
We can do this though because we have to pack.
Yep.
So
so we started at the beginning of the day. We wanted to make sure that we were bright and early out the door so that we'd make our reservation at A Happy Pancake.
Yes, and it's really good that we built in that time, because we still weren't as early as we thought we were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
We thought we would be like half an hour early, and we were only like 10 minutes early.
Well, we also left the apartment later.
Slightly later, though.
Like at least a good almost 10 minutes.
Barely 10 minutes.
At least 7. Anyway.
Maybe 7. Here's the thing. If you are in Japan and using Google Maps, it is going to tell you that you have to walk between things, right? Walk between trains, walk between subways. It's going to say things like, walk 2 minutes for this transfer. That's a lie. There's no way. That 2 minutes gets you like around a corner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
But it regularly tells us that like to get to our station, it's like 2 minutes, 2 or 4 minutes. It's not. It's much farther. So, but we...
Depends on which entrance, because it has 5.
Yeah. Just this one.
Yes.
Others have like 10.
Yeah.
And probably more. So we made it. We still made it early. We got seated right away.
Mm-hmm.
And
we looked at the menu, and there were 2 main things that stood out to us, so we decided to order both of them, eat half and switch.
Yeah.
So they were both decent.
Yeah.
One, again, they
I'm
were
glad we
like
had
very fluffy pancakes. And you got 3 of them, and one of them was chocolate and whipped cream, and some sort of granola.
Yeah.
On top of it.
Some kind of granola.
Yeah.
It was good.
I liked the other one better. Did you as well?
You know, uncharacteristically, I would probably give the slight edge to the chocolate for myself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well.
But that might have just been because I was like really full by the time I started on the other ones.
Yeah.
They're, for being light and fluffy, they're pretty filling. So
yeah.
They're like really rich.
The other one that we did, I think the dish was called like strawberry cheese or something like that.
Strawberry cheese fondue or something.
So it was the 3 pancakes and strawberries and whipped cream, but it also had like a little
ramekin of cheese.
Like, melted cheese, which really an odd choice for the dish, but worked really well.
Yeah, I
liked it a lot. Yeah, it's an odd, like a different savory flavor in the middle of what is like typically
toned
a very
it down
sweet
a little
dessert.
bit.
Yeah.
I'm like hitting my sweetness max here. There's a lot of which.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It was my understanding that things weren't as sweet here. I don't believe that's true. I think certain things maybe aren't as sweet.
Certain things aren't as sweet.
And then everything else is like super sugary. But anyway.
We've had a lot of ice cream.
We have. I think we've successfully had ice cream like every day.
Probably.
That's convenience store life.
Yes.
So we had the pancakes. I'm really glad we did it. I'm glad we. I'm glad we got in.
Yeah. It was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed having them. It was really fun to not wait in line for them because there was definitely a huge when we left there were over 30 people in line, right?
Yeah.
And our reservation was within like 45 minutes of opening, and it was definitely like full when we got there. So not our table. I was waiting for us. So then we left there, and that was kind of just on the outside of Harajuku, which we had wanted to go back into that area anyway. Ended up not being our original plan, but we ran some errands there, hit up a store. There's a store, it's called Kiddyland, which like Kiddy, which is interesting name, but it's basically like a character store. So different sections for like Disney stuff, Marvel stuff, Hello Kitty stuff, Star Wars,
Miffy,
Lego, little mini departments of different character things. So we walked through there, and
Pokemon, Studio Ghibli.
I mean, so like that's not all of them.
No,
there's way more.
Yeah. A bunch that I didn't even recognize. Either.
Yeah. So went there, tried to run a couple other errands that didn't work out as planned. Disney store. So then we moved to Shibuya, which is just a little further down, and hit up their Disney store because they have a really cool looking Disney store there.
Yeah.
And did we do anything else in Shibuya?
No.
No, was that it?
What was the thing that we went to? Yodobashi Camera?
That was up in Shinjuku. Pretty sure. Yes, that was in Shinjuku. Yeah. I don't think we did anything else in Shibuya.
Oh, no. Okay.
So then we hopped on the train, went up to Shinjuku.
Which again is the busiest train station in the world.
A giant train station that we talked about a lot in one of our other videos.
We had to go in and out of it a couple times today.
Yes.
And we were successful, though, it's still... We were looking for Paul.
Yeah, right? We still got we went in a couple circles, but it wasn't devastating.
Right.
It wasn't soul crushing.
It was helped a lot I was saying by not having to drag luggage along behind us. So
that's a true story. So Paul, our favorite bakery in the world, or at least the bakery that has our favorite sandwich. Yeah. Our favorite bakery sandwich in the world has a
that we've had in London and Paris and DC and Miami.
Miami, yes.
And now Japan.
And they are in the basement of one of the department stores that's in the train station. You know, I think there's multiple department stores in that train station, actually.
Yes.
So we circled around a bit.
Some of them are just numbered. There's like that Lumine one.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Lumine 1 through 5.
So we found Paul.
Like,
who knows?
There were a bunch, yeah.
And so then finally, found a map that was like, oh, the stuff you want's around the corner. So we went around the corner. We also hit up a candy store over there, but they didn't have what we were looking for.
Nope.
And so then we raced back to the apartment so that we could eat our delicious sandwiches before turning around and heading out to the museum.
Yeah. So the museum isn't close. It's not central to. It's like I just skipped.
And we're back. So let's see.
Okay, so we're going to we went to the Ghibli Museum, which again isn't central to Tokyo. It's a bit to the west, something like actually only 7 miles or so from where we are, but it's a bit of a trek to get there.
Could be 7, could be 100. It's just.
So we trained on out there and then got a bus from the train station.
It was like 2 trains and a bus.
Yeah, it was. To go to the museum. And again, this is Studio Ghibli. It's based on their films, which are animated films. It was a fun museum. You went
really cool looking.
Yeah, it was very sort of intentionally whimsical.
Yes.
Like a big spiral cage staircase in the lobby, like a bridge going over the gallery
inside,
level.
inside the building,
like the second floor gallery.
There was like a rooftop, multiple rooftop patio areas. So yeah, it was
small archways to walk through, duck through an archway to get to the next place. So it very intentional whimsy is what I would call it. And then there was stuff about the animation process and how they color it and how they color the animation cells. There was like
a short film.
Yeah. There was a short Studio Ghibli film. It was like 10 minutes or something, made specifically for the museum. That was cute.
Lots of they had those rooms that were set up that were kind of like the walkthroughs that were like his studio.
Yeah, supposed to be like his study. And
so lots of they had a photo album that had pictures of the real life places that have inspired some of the scenes and sets in the movies. Lots of stuff on the wall, just lots of stuff to look at. Very
very pretty.
But again, kind of all thrown together in a big collage. You could if you were going to look artistic. At everything, you would be there a long time.
It was probably also very informational, but it was all in Japanese.
Except for a film that every other time it played had English subtitles. Now I don't know why it couldn't have the subtitles every time. That's just a choice. Which is totally fine. There were, and what's hard is that you can't take pictures in the museum, and I'm that's fine. I'm not saying that's hard, but it is hard if your translation app is on your phone. So you can't be translating things with your phone because you're essentially taking pictures of every sign, and they don't want that. So we couldn't, we didn't have translating abilities in the way that we do elsewhere.
Spent some time in the gift shop. We've seen a lot of Studio Ghibli stuff throughout Tokyo, all over the place. Really curious what we were going to see at the museum. And I think the stand-up for me is that there was a lot of Ghibli Museum merch. Like pins for the
They
store.
full on had a puzzle. There's all these puzzles from the films, but then they have a puzzle of a drawing of the building, of the museum in the style of the rest of the artwork. Which is kind of cool. Because the building's neat. But lots of
Ghibli Museum merch. But anyway, we got there at 4. Our ticket time was at 4. It closed at 6. So we shut the place down.
Yeah, I feel like we should add, this is a timed ticket entry that...
Oh, yeah.
They released the tickets on the 10th, the month prior. So our only option to get these tickets was, once we decided we were going to go, which was like late February, go to this museum, not Japan. That was figured out long before. Yeah. But it was late February and we decided we were going to try and go to the Ghibli Museum, which meant the next ticket buying opportunity was March 10th in Japan. Which is March
9th in the afternoon or evening for us.
Yes.
In the Pacific Northwest.
I think it was like mid-afternoon. And then... the only date, like, so those tickets were for April, and the only date we could go in April was April 1st.
Yep.
So everything was riding on getting that, and it's like we watched all the time slots disappear as the website's overloaded, because it's literally the whole world trying to buy tickets. Yeah. And we lucked out.
Yeah, we were successful. We got tickets, and...
Yeah. We almost didn't. Like, they could have very easily disappeared. So if you're interested in tickets to the Ghibli Museum, which are only like $10.
Yeah, they're like, very cheap.
Yeah.
But everybody
hard
wants
to get,
them. Yeah.
So that's
they're definitely not gathering.
That's what you need to know to get your Ghibli tickets. Anything else about the museum?
No, I don't think so. We got back on a bus, got back on a train. Oh,
yes. And then actually, at that point, we had individual errands on opposite sides of town. Yeah. So we went our separate ways and ran around.
I don't think I told you this, but first got on a train going the wrong direction.
No, you did not.
And I had to ride it for like 18 stops or something. So at first I wasn't paying attention because I had to ride it for a long time. So it was like 3 or 4.
At Disney?
Yeah.
You're like, Disneyland?
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
It was like 3 or 4 stops, I think, before I finally looked up and realized I was not going the right direction. So then I got off and changed trains and went back the other direction, and eventually made it there. One interesting subway experience I had tonight by myself was the silent subway. So I had seen on like one of the YouTubers that we follow about Tokyo that he said that in Japan the trains are often silent. People just stay to themselves and don't talk. And that hasn't necessarily been the case the whole time.
No, like it's been quiet. Yeah, but not like
there's still typically like a couple of people like chatting or whatever.
Especially when there's people on the train. Like we've been on some empty trains. Yeah. That are pretty quiet because there's like 5 people, but
but anyway, I walked in onto one of the platforms today, and it was very full. It was like everybody's in suits and ties, like bunch of businessmen.
Because we split. We went our separate ways at like 6 o'clock. So this is like people are.
The platform is full, and neither of the trains is there yet, and it was silent. It was silent. Like everybody's just there, like on their phones, and nobody's talking to anybody. It was really eerie. I expected them to like everybody like turn their head toward me, and like suddenly we're in a horror movie. So one of the trains got there, and then it didn't leave right away, so the doors were still open. But anyway, everybody boarded the train, and still like standing on the train, I could like see the people on the platform, see the people in the train, and everybody was just quiet. It was bizarre. Like I heard about it, and it was an unusual experience. Glad I got to see that. But yeah, I checked a couple of stores for some last minute souvenirs, and then came back here and made it just before Katrina. Well, just before Katrina got distracted on the way home.
Yeah, I had some errands to run actually kind of close to the apartment, and unfortunately like I kind of had to zigzag because of when things were closing, so I had to be up by the apartment, and then I had to go back into Shinjuku to just some last minute like things I knew I needed to pick up. So it was a pretty specific list, and I was mostly successful. And then I was like, okay, I'm headed back to the apartment, and then it was like, oh wait, this store is open until 10. I'm just gonna pop in here for a sec.
It is not the first time she's been distracted by that store.
No, so I had to go just to like satisfy my curiosity. It's a store called Frank Franken. It's like housewares. And then and there was also a Shake Shack right next to it that I did not go into, but I was like, hey, Shake Shack.
And she sent me a picture.
Yeah, and then
I said, hi, Shake Shack.
Yeah. So we greeted Shake Shack, highlight of the day. And then I started making my way back. It's really strange because Shinjuku, for being this like giant train station, for some reason does not have a quick way to get back to the apartment, and you end up like walking half the way. And at this point, it's like raining, and I ducked into a couple stores like on the way back, and which were actually really productive. Like crossed some last minute things off my list there, and eventually made it back up here. And then we hung out for a little bit, doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like.
We just hung out.
Yeah, just hung out, whatever. Yeah. No, like we both were working on things, and then we're like, we need dinner, and that was like at midnight.
Yeah. Weather-wise, would you say this is the most significant rain that we've had? I can't think of when else it has rained.
It did rain that one night that we were going to look at cherry blossoms, but we weren't out in it as much. And like tonight, we were like out in it running errands, and so it poured pretty significantly for a little bit. Which
overall means that like we had pretty clear weather.
We did.
Here.
Yeah, we really lucked out, especially for the days that we were like in nature. We were really lucky with our weather.
Yeah. Lots of sun, but not particularly warm. We had warm days. Well, yeah, we had warm days, but the temperature was typically like, I don't know. I had like a hoodie on and often like another jacket.
And I'm always ripping my jacket off.
Yeah.
I like wear my jacket out of the apartment and
we
then
definitely run at different temperatures.
As soon as I'm in the subway, I'm like tearing it off. Why is it so hot?
See, and it is warm, but I don't want to take mine off because we're just gonna get off the subway in a second. I'm gonna be freezing.
Yeah. So then we were like, what do we do for dinner? Because we made a point of going to our favorite ramen place last night for dinner. And I don't know.
Anyway,
didn't think we were gonna eat tonight. I don't really know.
Right.
So
we had our favorite ramen. We had our favorite sandwich.
Yeah.
We're like, well,
what's left? But then it was like we wanted to do something because it is our last night. So we did a repeat. I know we're really excited on the food front, guys.
We are. If you tasted the food, you know how exciting we are.
It's so exciting because we just find this amazing food and then just eat just that. So we went back to the gyoza restaurant that we tried, I don't know, a couple days ago when we first got here. It was right when we checked into the apartment. Yeah, so it was our first full day back in Tokyo. When that day, we were rushing to get there before they closed at 3:30 in the afternoon. Well, guess what? They reopened for dinner, and they stay open until 4:30 in the morning. So, you know.
Magical.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Because we were there after midnight.
After midnight.
Yeah.
Weren't the only ones.
Yeah.
No?
Like, time check, it's 2:30 a.m.
Yeah, so... And who's packed?
Yep.
No one here. No one here is packed.
No. If you could see this place.
Who has to be at an airport in like 8 hours? This guy.
Yeah.
So had dinner and then came back to the apartment, zigzagging to hit like every convenience store on the way back.
She's not kidding. I mean, we did skip one.
We skipped two.
Oh, we skipped two.
2 Family Marts.
Okay. Which means that we hit like 7 of them.
Which means we hit at least 1 or 2 other Family Marts, 2 Lawsons, and at least 2 7-Elevens.
Yeah.
I was on a mission to find something. I didn't find it, but what I did find, in what started as a search, like I originally reached for something and thought it was, like we thought like it was an off-brand haichu.
Yeah.
And discovered that it was actually like a pack of throat lozenges. I thought they were like yuzu haichus. And I was like, oh, like that sounds interesting, I'll try that. And then I found out they were throat lozenges and I was like, well, I'll try those too. And then at the next store, I saw a similar package, but it had a peach on it. And I was like, are these peach throat lozenges? And they were. So bought them, tried it, and was like, this is the best peach candy I've ever had. And so then I had to go into the next 7-Eleven and buy more of them. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we got to the next one, and I thought she just like grabbed the whole box and emptied them out, but
I didn't. I left like 2.
Yeah.
There weren't that many in the box to begin with.
No.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I thought there actually are peach haichus here, but they're in a bag with melon haichus. And getting a bag that's half full of melon haichus is not worth it to get the peach ones. And it was really expensive. I want to say it was like a $6 bag or something. I don't know. It was like a fancy souvenir bag. We don't need that. But you know what we can do is get these guys because they are less than 100 yen. Actually, with tax, they're 103. But they're delicious. So that was pretty exciting for me. Didn't find what I was looking for, but came back with a lot of peach throat lozenges, apparently. And
that's probably not an uncommon theme on this trip.
And so now we're back in the apartment.
Yep.
And
so yeah, unless you missed that, just in case you missed that, like our last night in Tokyo, how we shut down the party, we went convenience store hopping.
Yeah. Midnight gyoza and convenience stores.
Yeah.
Really living it up here in Tokyo.
We're wild.
And yeah, that's a wrap on Japan.
Yeah.
We might do another video.
I think, yeah, we probably will.
We thought we would do it in the morning, but that's not going to happen.
No.
So at some point, when we're both back in the same place, we'll probably do like a recap video of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds weird because these have all been recaps. We will do a...
We haven't actually decided what it is.
We have ideas.
Yes.
Reflections.
A reflection.
Reflections on Japan.
Reflections, tips and tricks. And
yes, that kind of thing. Yeah.
What was interesting. And
we'll see.
What was bizarre.
Yeah.
Like
Things...
silent train platforms.
Do you hear this?
Yeah, we actually, like, this apartment has been pretty good. It's not as good as our magical apartment, but this has been fine for us. But it is like there is no wall here. Like, those windows block zero sound.
Yeah.
It really sounds like the window's open. But I've checked multiple times.
And every time it's closed.
Every time it's closed.
Oh, we should also add, when we were convenience store hopping, those places were busy.
Oh, yeah?
Like, we walked into one, and Jared's like, what time is it? Like,
yeah.
I think it was 1:30 at that
Yeah.
point. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, it was 1:14.
Time's about to get a lot crazier in the next day or so.
Yeah.
All right.
Date lines and such.
We have to pack.
We do have to pack.
For reals.
Yes.
So,
otherwise, we're not going to get our 4 hours in.
Oh, I'm definitely not getting
sleep.
4 hours. Are you kidding?
What?
No.
Checkout's at 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a lot of packing, strategic packing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's no sleep happening here.
At least you have a long flight.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's going to be the most sleep I've had in 2 weeks. We'll be on that flight. I don't know, though. There's a really good movie list.
So there is.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that's all. Because otherwise, we could just do this and never pack.
Not moving and just sitting here chatting at you is way easier.
Yeah, there's a blanket. I can just curl up. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our recaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
Nope.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Wish us luck for packing. I'm gonna need it. And we'll see you when we're both back in the States.